Let's now move on to the interview component. How are interviews used in the hiring process?
Interviews are used in kind of the next section after your resume. Okay, we've been enticed to talk to you. Now we want to talk to you and be able to actually dig into what your experience is and really see if you fit what we're needing.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll go through several different types of interviews and you'll go through several of them. It's not just one. So just tell yourself they're not trying to torture you. This is actually a good sign that as you are asked to come back over and over and over again, that's saying to you that you are doing a great job of meeting their qualifications and you're getting closer and closer to them deciding if you're a best fit or not. So it's always a good thing and it always gives you great practice too.
How do you prepare for an interview?
Well, actually, you've been preparing already. If you were career planning, you've got a resume, you've been networking and informational interviewing. Most people think there's this great thing that opens up in the ground and you have to step into it and that's when you're starting to practice interviewing. You've been practicing it from a lot earlier on than before. But you still need to keep yourself thinking in the line of an interview, and that's different than presenting yourself on a paper. So first thing I tell people is try to relax. Try to find some ways to truly relax for yourself. That could be breathing techniques, it could be going and exercising, whatever you need. And what I often find is the best way to prepare is just practice. Practice, 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 practice.
Which leads to my next question. Are there some typical interview questions that most employers tend to ask?
Yes, there are a lot of typical interview questions, but there are about 5 that I wanted to talk with you about because these are the ones that cause probably the most fear or the most apprehension, and they're some of the most popular ones. Tell me about yourself is one of those. Then we start that out right
I love working with people, which is probably not the best response.
Exactly. So when they ask you, tell me about yourself, they're really trying to just get a sense of who you are. This is not the time to spew forth your entire resume and feel like you have to say everything about yourself in that first question. Remember, you've got the entire interview to talk about yourself. So what I like to do is talk with the clients about, well, why don't you think about particular highlights, 1 or 2 things on your 2-minute me that you can highlight as almost like a cover letter, a verbal cover letter about yourself to say, hey, keep talking to me. You want to keep talking with me in this interview. So the 2-minute me is basically highlights the skills that you have, the training or education that you've experienced, maybe job titles that you've held that you want to make sure that they know about, and then what makes you unique. And so you're going to try to hit all of these items in your 2-minute me throughout the interview, but you pick 1 or 2 in order to highlight during the tell me about yourself. It's not an accident that it's called the 2-minute me. It keeps you to 2 minutes or less.
What's another typical kind of question that may be asked in an interview?
Well, there's some behavioral questions that occur. Tell me about a time when you did X. And this is to have the interviewer actually really be able to find out what your critical thinking skills are, how you think on your feet, maybe be able to talk to what you've done in the past. So behavioral questions are very, very popular. And so be prepared that you will be likely asked at least 1, possibly 2 behavioral questions.
We're running a little short on time, Kristin. Thank you for sharing 2 of the 5 typical kinds of questions that can be asked in an interview. If you would like more information about Kristin and what she can do, her website is kmcounseling.com, or you can email her at kristin@kmcounseling.com. The phone number is 916-952-3535. And she has information there about career coaching and more information if you're interested. That's my beeper going off. That means I'm out of time. And then finally, if you would like to email me for any comments about today's show, or if you have any ideas for future shows, please feel free to email me at brianmoffitt@comcast.net. Our next show is going to be focusing on spirit in the workplace and why that's important and how we cultivate spirit in the workplace, particularly during this time. Thanks again for watching Good Work Now, and until next time, keep up the good work. Thank you for watching.